The views expressed in this podcast, Champ and Tramp, belong to the hosts and guests, not the Champ and Tramp podcast itself. It's intended for entertainment information, so please use discretion. We're not responsible for any outcomes resulting from the content discussed.
What's up, guys? It's May, and that means it's a National Beef Month. What a better way to kick off the month than getting 40% off all carnivore products.
That's right, guys. Not only have you heard about us talk about carnivore for a while, it also won Protein of the Year. The benefits of beef protein over whey are outstanding.
Carnivore contains no fat, no lactose, no sugar, no cholesterol, no gluten. Skip the bloat and go with 100% beef protein isolate.
That's right, guys. Go check it out now at musclemedsrx.com and save 40% today.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You were not rocking out with Iron Man, FE. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the champ and the tramp, let the bomb blast.
I love the product placement.
Yeah, we try to.
And the little doll's great.
Hell yeah.
Did you bring some in? Did you have? Yeah, I thought you did.
Yeah, for you guys.
That's awesome, man.
On the canes, yours too. Yeah, we got put it on the
see.
wall somewhere.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, that one's
Yeah.
used.
Oh, wait, that's for us?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that was for us.
Yeah,
I was
and
gonna
if
ask
you
about
actually
that.
look at it, it's used because that's the one I carry in my car for just when I'm driving somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I don't fly with a cane. They have to have one when I get there, you know. But
Right.
that one has been used at least in 10 matches.
Dude,
that's
that's amazing.
awesome.
Well, not
I
matches.
thought you were going to say use when you were driving. You said, take a drive with me. I took it out of the car and cracked someone with it. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear myself.
I hear you.
This
yeah.
My mic's so weird sometimes. I can't hear myself, but I can hear you.
Well, hey, we got the Sandman, James Fullington here,
What
and his
up?
son Ty, multiple time ECW champion. What else? WCW.
That's about it. I don't know.
Yeah, this guy's been
that.
he's been around. He's been wrestling ECW, WCW, WWE. He's been through it all. I mean, he wrestled as recently as 2019, right? Did I see something?
Oh, maybe in Phil. Yeah, that's around the last time that I was actually in the ring. And that was doing a favor for Bubba Ray Dudley. He was doing a show and he was doing an angle, and he needed somebody like me to get his angle over even more at the end. So I went in and gave him like a 3-4 minute match or whatever. But that was the last time.
That's insane.
Like having a
because-
match.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but your career started in around 82-ish to 2019.
No, not 90.
90.
Yeah,
I read
90.
82. Okay.
Yeah,
so
right around.
fuck
yeah.
Google. Fuck you,
right when
Google.
all the stuff, the music was happening
Okay.
in the West Coast. You know what I mean? All that stuff.
I gotcha. But still, an insane, like, the longevity of your career. I mean, most guys would never dream of being in that. You know, most guys get injured, I would think, right?
Yeah, but you still make it through it. I mean,
yeah.
you get paid.
You get you power through?
A lot. Well, there's only so many spots between two big companies, for the two big companies in the United States. You know what I mean? So if your spot's getting a push right there and you're injured, you're willing to deal with it. But also, the other guy understands it also, so you guys will work around it in your match if there's an injury.
right.
Gotcha.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're both working together because
Yeah.
he could be hurt the next night.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
It's the exact opposite of what we were talking about last week down here, Frankie, where you target an injury in your sport. You know what I mean?
There. Well,
Yeah, look at his ears and look at mine, dude. I got some beautiful ears here compared to those with that stuff.
Oh yeah. But I'm saying it's essentially a partnership when you're in these wrestling matches, though.
Oh, well,
right?
you got to understand. Sometimes, like I've been in the ring with guys that are dangerous, like Brian Knobs, but I could be in the ring with Bam Bam Bigelow, who's literally weighing 500 pounds right then. Do a 20-minute match with him. Go through tables, ladders, tables, chairs, lions, tigers, bears. Oh my! And do all that, and he won't touch me harder than that.
Wow.
But some guys are different. Some guys are
some guys
clumsy.
have reputation.
Dude, imagine
right?
Bigelow just well, this is what Knobs did. The very first time, I'll tell you a story about Brian Knobs. The nasty boy, you guys know who he is. So the first time I meet him in the locker room, me and Bigelow have been working every week in like hardcore matches for like probably like a month or so then. And Knobs comes up to me, he goes, hi, I'm Brian Knobs. I'm only here because of Terry. Terry's Hogan. And he's Hogan's boy. And I'm in a match with him that night. And he trips over a ladder and almost kills me.
Jeez.
It landed right on top of me, knocked the wind out of me in the match and stuff like that. But the worst part was you couldn't hurt the guy. Me and Bigelow tried. He was just so. It got to a point where his manager Jimmy Hart, because if he got a hold of one of my canes, he would swing that thing like he was playing in the World Series, and not care where he hit you with it, because he loses his mind when he gets out there in a match. Wow. There's guys like that, you know what I mean? And you get hurt easy. So to the point is that there's a lot of trust in every single solitary match. You got two people on the top rope. One doesn't know what they're doing. It happened with Charlotte Flair. That's how she got hurt. Two people on the top rope. Next thing you know, boom, there goes her ankle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That has to be pretty common, right? People getting hurt. How does that work? Like if someone gets hurt in the middle of a match?
Well, now the WWE, it's so different because they go down. If you watch a match, the referee if there's a big spot, the referee's right down talking to you. You okay? You okay? You okay? You okay? He goes to both wrestlers. And in the meantime, as soon as the wrestlers get near each other, either if they're too close to the crowd, they won't want to communicate, so he'll just grab your hand and squeeze your hand, and that means you good? Yeah, I'm good. Oh,
wow.
You know, that's how it's going on out there.
Doesn't say a whole lot for the whole match, but
but there's been matches with time. What was the match that was recently stopped because there was an actual real injury?
Are you talking about Danielson, the one that we just watched?
No, wasn't there a match that got stopped in the last like month or so because there was a real injury and it wasn't planned?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was,
but
yeah, the ref will put up.
Oh yeah, he does the X or something like that. That's what it is. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. If you see a ref like he's signaling to the back, like
he's really
something's
So what do they do? Cut to commercial and like?
Well, they'll stay there. Right? You gotta who's running the truck.
Right,
if you got somebody great, I don't know if Kevin still does it or not for him, but he was unbelievable with stuff like that. You know what I mean? But,
And then obviously your partner in there, your wrestling partner, knows you're injured, and does he somehow gracefully like not kill you and like ends the match?
It's a little bit different now. 30, 40, 50 years ago, there's no way that would have ended like that.
Right.
The other guy would have just finished you right then. If I don't care how hurt you were or whatever, dude, you would have just got finished. It wouldn't have been all this stopping and everything like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was much more of a shoot business back then. You know, you never talked about your craft to anybody.
Right.
You know, you wanted people to believe what you're doing is for real.
Yeah.
Because that's how you made your
Nowadays,
money. Now it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, it was a huge debate. When I was in grammar school, it was a huge debate, whether it was real, whether it was fake. And nobody really knew because I mean, obviously now it's entertainment. Everybody knows.
Well, no, but now
when I was a kid, there would be full blown arguments. Like kids would almost be fist fighting each other. One would be arguing on the side that it's fake, and one would be, you know what I mean? That we got that.
That was me in high school.
Yeah, right.
Well, but I started. I honestly, when I'm 13 years old, I still want to believe.
Yeah.
But I'm on the verge. You know what I mean? And then me and my buddy Ruben, like a year or 2 years later, we start going to the Spectrum. They were there every month. And the closer you got your seats to the ring, the more you realize that it's a work.
Yeah.
You know, you're seeing a little bit too much then, you know?
Right.
You're hearing the guys talk to each other and everything.
Well, now that is it's pretty much known that it's, not real. Yeah. But now it's like people, the fans judge it as a script.
Yeah,
watching a movie.
It's like watching that script. I don't like how they went with that way, even though they know it's not real. But I don't like that direction, or they like that direction. It's kind of interesting how that goes.
Well, it certainly didn't hurt its fan base at all when people did come to the discovery. If anything, it's simply grown. You know what I mean?
I think
right now it's on the uptick. Right now it's going straight to the moon for another 6 years.
What the WWE did such a good job is ever since the beginning, they always brought back their old stars to bring up their new stars, right? Like Andre Well, they
Yeah,
put
that's
you.
your
They put
job.
you over, right? They put them over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my job too. Like a lot of times, I'll fly in. Like I was in Pittsburgh last week for a guy named Norm Connors, and I nobody touches me. When I nobody touches me. I whack you with the cane, drink some beers with the people and stuff like that. You know what I mean? 'Cause I don't take bumps. Where was I going with this?
Putting people
Put
over.
people over.
Oh yeah, so some guys are just so willing because I'm so well known in the hardcore ECW. They're willing to die for me, but I'm like, dude. And then I ask him, well, what have you been doing the last couple months? Well, what are you doing next? And then, but they're willing to put everything aside and let me kill them just so they can say, hey, I got caned by the Sandman.
A legend.
So my job then is to make sure I kill him, but I get him over at the very end anyway. You know what I mean? I'll stand there in the ring with a beer in my hand, and he'll be laying there, and I'll be like, all right, work your way up.
Yeah.
Work your way up. You'll stand there, and I said, I'm not going to grab the mic or anything, and I'm just going to put a beer can out. And you grab it. And then nobody cares. I just killed the guy with the cane, hit him maybe 5 times, you know what I mean? But then you switch it right back around, and you put the guy over, and I make the whole crowd start yelling, chug, chug, chug.
Yeah,
you know?
that's awesome.
That's how, you know, just a little manipulation like that.
So were you the first with the beer? Because Steve Austin obviously.
Oh yeah, dude, I was his last 2 or 3 matches before he went.
He started doing it.
He's the reason I had to win the championship another time.
No way.
Paul Heyman. So he leaves WCW. He comes in, starts these promos. They were killing it. You know what I mean? He's just great anyway. You know what I'm saying? So Paul wanted to put the championship on him, but he didn't want Steve to beat me. So we had a 3-way where a 3-way match. Mikey Whipwreck wins that one. And then Steve's supposed to win it from Mikey the next month at the arena. Meanwhile, Steve signs with the WWE the next month. I win the belt back from Mikey.
Oh wow!
So that's how, you know, one of the 5 times, which was happenstance.
Yep.
Somebody else left, and they put the belt on me.
Now you say he signed with somebody else. His contract had expired, or they can buy out a contract. Is it?
Well, dude, him and Paul was a handshake.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Got
He was
you.
through with his stuff with the WCW. Probably did his 90 days not compete or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then went up there, and that's just a handshake. And who really knows at this point if Paul and Vince, how close they are now? Because it all turns out later that he was giving money as early as 95. Wow. You know what I mean? So who really knows? Maybe he was brought there to Paul to convince him to go there.
Yep.
You know?
Speaking of Vince, he's in a little bit of trouble now. We might as well touch on this. Obviously,
Is he though?
He had to step down in 2022
Right.
for a bunch of
But no trouble.
Yeah, but what about that stock he's selling?
Yeah, he sold.
Oh,
all of it.
yikes.
Yeah, he owns nothing of it anymore, right?
Well, I knew it was for sale as of like yesterday, in the last 48 hours, or they said he was putting it up. I don't know if the sales happened yet.
I wonder.
And his
Wait, his
non-compete's
stock in the
over in
company?
January.
Suppose like the TKO stock or whatever, because I think TKO owns WWE and UFC.
Okay.
And I think he got rid of all of his stock. Yeah.
Wow.
He got rid of 50% of it like 6 months ago, maybe
What is
8
your- what
months
is your-
ago.
Any thoughts behind that? Like why?
I don't cash out.
Cashing out. Or no, I've seen someone say, yeah, cashing out, he'll wait till his non-compete's
Non-compete's
up,
January.
and then he'll start another one.
Gotcha.
I've heard rumors like that from people that I respect a little bit with their rumor, you know?
Right.
Yeah. That could be. Hey, listen, that's definitely possible.
Who knows? Who knows? I would put it back.
But even Brock got dragged into that whole mess somehow, didn't he? Wasn't Brock?
Yeah,
involved
but
in
you
it?
don't really hear his name about it.
You don't hear much about it.
You don't really hear anything
He's involved in
about
that
it.
whole lawsuit. Suppose
What
I think.
lawsuit?
Okay, so in 2022, again, I may have this not exactly
Roughly,
correct, but
right,
my
something like
understanding is there's at least 4 women that claim that, and he's been paying them off over the
Right.
course of like a decade and a half.
Right.
Something to
With
the
all
tune of like
NDAs.
19 million.
Everybody
Yeah, they all
signed
signed
NDAs.
NDAs.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But they're saying some of it may come out of stockholder money, all this sort of thing. But anyway, Brock is one of them. Again, this is allegedly that Vince, would not make, but put them up to sleeping with certain wrestlers and certain executives and things. And Brock was one of those guys. Again, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So,
Wow. I'm sure that went around. I'm sure they went around those days. Come on.
Yeah.
Absolute power will corrupt you. Absolutely.
It always does.
That's
It
the
always
bottom
does.
line.
It always does.
That's just the way it is.
Right.
You know, how can it not be?
I
If
feel
you've
like
never
when you
said no to.
accumulate.
Yeah.
You know, if you never said no to.
Right.
Yeah. You think you're godlike.
Yeah, and you paying people to never tell you that you're wrong.
It seems like that almost always happens when you accumulate so much wealth that you don't chase wealth anymore. What's the next high? Power. It's almost always power.
That's what politics
That's why I
is
stay
about.
poor.
Power,
I
dude.
don't have to worry about it.
Politics is all about
100%,
power.
100%.
Well, it's not about the money because think about it. You only get Biden was worth like $50,000 when he first got voted in as a House of Representative or whatever it was.
Back in
Then he works for 30, 40 years in the government
They all
and
do,
he's
though.
worth $90 million.
They all are.
all-
Every
yeah,
one of them.
yeah.
Every
How
one
is
of them.
that possible on a government paycheck
It's
of
insane.
$158,000 a year to for in 30 years turn that into $90 million?
The easiest way to get rich is if you just mimic Nancy Pelosi's stock buys and sells. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you don't want to go down the
Power.
politic road with me because I'll be here all day.
Oh, I could too.
They call me Trucker Carlson for a reason.
Oh, he said some great stuff in the last 2 days. I
he
forget
has.
what it was.
He was on
My
Rogan, yeah.
timeline.
Yep.
Well, he said something great today.
He had
He's
a
always
great
saying good stuff.
analysis, a great breakdown of what's going on. I wouldn't even try to surmise it in my own words, but when he was talking to Rogan, he just broke down like, you know, essentially he always kind of resorts back to religion and evil versus good and what's going on, and his take on it was really, really good. You know, watch it if you haven't. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I know. You probably only saw the highlights. He's a big,
You ever watch
he's a big
news?
highlight
He was
guy.
You ever
talking about
watch News
evolution.
Nation?
You see him talk about evolution too? Yeah. It was,
You ever
his take
watch
on
News
that.
Nation?
Yes.
If you watch
My dad watches that.
O'Reilly and
Yeah.
Como go at it together. They have it together today
Oh, yeah,
every
yeah,
once
yeah.
or twice a week. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the governor, the Cuomo, the
Chris.
His son.
CNN guy. Yeah, yeah.
Or whatever.
yeah,
Is it his son?
brother. The brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, he just got picked up by
He actually,
PBD, didn't he?
I don't know, but he actually just had an interview with Tucker where they actually seemed to
Yeah.
kind of like show
Oh,
mutual
dude, that
respect
was
for each
big,
other.
that interview.
I
They
couldn't
broke
believe
that
it.
into 3 parts. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe
Well,
this guy
the guy,
isn't.
he does seem. Well, I don't know. I think he just like wants to be in the in crowd.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because he flip flop but he seems like he's reasonable. Seems like he's reasonable.
Well,
In that interview,
50% of the
he does.
time.
In that interview. Yeah. Tucker's a tough person to argue with too. So
He's very
Yeah,
well
but either
informed.
way, we're sitting here talking about him, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
You
Hey,
know what I
listen,
mean? And that's
correct.
all that counts.
That's correct, man. That's correct.
So you know, for the hardcore matches, right? That's kind of what your claim to fame is. Did you start that? Was that like the start of
No,
your...
dude. The Public Enemy was like Ted Petty was the first one to go through a table at the ECW arena. And then they were doing them, and Sabu came in, and he brought the table spots to other levels with the outside and stuff like that.
Well,
you know what I
isn't
mean?
Mick Foley's also known for being a fucking madman, right?
I
the-
dude, I did barbed wire matches
Yeah,
against
Dude,
him.
you had a match when he was Cactus Jack with him, right?
Oh, like you want to hear a good
But
story?
I read one a story of that where he got concussed.
Oh, he broke my neck in one match, but it wasn't his fault. But another one, he knocked me out in with a frying pan that he knew if he hit me as hard as he did. You know, I trusted Cactus because you have to understand, we're doing some, guys swinging a frying pan. I came back to the locker room and didn't know who I was. Yeah. Todd Gordon's like, yeah, we'll get to the hospital. They had somebody take me right to the hospital.
So none of that shit. I mean, obviously, again, I'll go back to when I was a kid. They would often, you guys would whack each other with chairs. Chairs
dude,
have
that's
a lot
full
of,
blown.
They have a lot of give to them. A frying pan
Okay.
don't have any give to them, man. That's a real frying pan you're getting smacked with?
Well, yeah.
That's insane.
No. See, now some people will bring cast iron frying pans.
Yeah.
You don't do a spot, bring it over the top of your head and bring it down to somebody's head. You lay it down there and do a bulldog on them or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
You don't
Makes
do
sense.
that with a cast iron.
you're
What
gonna
is now
kill somebody.
the light ones that they have now that you cook eggs in with your kitchen? You can bring that down. But the trick is you have to let go of the pan
right before that makes sense.
It'll make a little bit better sound, and you're not drilling it
See,
through his head.
kids, see, you're learning all the secrets here. Aren't you glad you tuned in to Champ of the Tramp? That's I never thought of that. If you let it go momentarily before it makes impact.
You wouldn't believe the stuff that in Buffalo, it was the worst. We were doing a pay-per-view in Buffalo, and New Jack's like, I want everybody to bring something. There was a room. It was way bigger than this, but there was more trash cans that would fit like on the floor in this room right here. There's probably like 25 of them filled with anything: microwaves, hammers, light tubes, and just unbelievable cheese graters, irons. It was just.
And that was
crazy.
the fans bringing it all, right?
Yeah, that was
Really?
the fans.
No
Were
way.
they throwing in there for you to
Well, no, that they had so much they couldn't bring all that to the ring. They used like 2 cans full of stuff.
That's insane.
All the rest just got thrown out later.
What's your worst injury you ever sustained?
I broke my neck,
Broke
my
your neck.
C4 and a
Mick
half.
Foley did that?
Yeah, but it was my fault in the match.
Talk us through
We
that.
were doing okay. So imagine if you have a table standing upright on an angle against the top rope. I'm laying head up top and my feet down at the bottom, and I want Cactus to go down to my feet and flip me over and throw me down to the floor. I dreamt the spot. Well, I always came up with my best spots like right before I was falling asleep, because you got to understand, I breathed this shit for 24/7 for a long time, and I would come up with my spots right before I fell asleep. But my problem was when he was inverting the table, I let my hands go too early because I'm standing there like this. My feet are going over my head. I let my hands go, and then I went right down onto the top of my head. I needed to hold my hands for another like 2 seconds, and I would have been fine.
Damn. And you were done. You weren't getting up from that?
Oh no, I got to finish the match.
Holy shit.
And wrestled the next week. Got cracked by the chiropractor the next day.
Did you not know it was broken at the moment?
Well, no, I knew I was in pain, but I didn't know it was broken.
Jesus.
You know, but I was just used to pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had a broken C4. I didn't even know it, so I ended up wrestling through that with a broken neck. And then, like 3 years later, I have the Junkyard match for WCW. I hurt my neck during that match. Went to the hospital. They do whatever the first X-ray. They're like, "Oh yeah, you got a broken neck." I'm like, "No, I've been hurt worse than this. I don't." Then they gave me the next thing before an MRI. There's
CAT scan, right?
Yeah. Then they gave you the CAT scan, and they're like, "Yeah, you're right. You didn't break this. You broke this like 5 years ago."
Wow.
And I was like, "Damn!" And I wrestled right through that. That's crazy.
That
Other
is
guys,
crazy.
Gary the Pitbull was real. You guys know his neck was really broken.
Yeah, the
He had
halo.
the halo with the
Oh,
screws
oh,
in his
yeah,
head and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, that was real.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, a lot of guys. Taz's broken neck, that was real. That was his fault, though, and he knows it. He's admitted it. Because he had his head back. When you're taking a pile driver, Scorpio was doing it. Scorpio's never hurt anybody in his life. And unless he was in Japan and he really had to. But yeah, Taz had his head back for a pile driver, dude. Your head's not supposed to be back. Your chin's always supposed to be tucked. Always, every bump you ever take, chin down here.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so they
Because
say
you're not
it's-
bouncing your head anywhere like there. But a backdrop, you know what I mean? You're like this.
if you're like
My
that.
shoulders are hitting it. My head's never hitting the mat,
right.
ever.
Right.
Yeah, so scripted, but what do you have, like 30 broken bones?
Well, I now between the 5 broken ones, I had it up to like 27 because
And, like,
it's-
6
I got a
diagnosed
new knee
concussions that
here.
year.
I got a new knee here. I got a new
New hardware.
This was like less than 4 months ago. I think this was like November 16th. My new
hip.
hip.
Yeah, I got a new hip.
My knee, I was jogging 6 weeks later. My hip, I was jogging 6 weeks later. It was like nowadays it's crazy.
The hip feels
I was
good.
home. They did my hip at 7:30 in the morning. I got to the hospital. I was home by 1:30.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's insane
They want you in
nowadays.
there.
Wow.
An outpatient
Yeah.
hip.
They want to get you up and moving. I remember my dad had a quadruple bypass and he was walking by the end of the day. That's crazy.
Yeah, my knee. They had me walking 90 minutes late. After as soon as the medicine wore off, they wanted you up and walking.
Wow.
Well, dude, you drove home from your knee, didn't you?
Yeah, but they didn't want me to. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Boy, I kept walking right out the door.
Yeah, he gave the doctor my number. He's like, Ty, if a doctor calls, just say you're coming to pick me up. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I'm like, I ain't waiting for somebody to get me.
He's got an IV bag of morphine hanging off.
I was swinging a golf club.
He's
I was
the
in
other
my
one.
backyard in Kennett Square, PA, swinging a golf club and putting it out because that was like my early days of like Twitter. I'm like, ooh, let me put this picture out. You know what I mean? less than 27 hours out of my surgery, I'm swinging a golf club in my backyard. That's how stupid I am.
Ty, put that cane on camera, man. That's pretty good. That's an actual. That's been in combat. That's been in the ring before.
And you know how you can tell? Because it's taped. You see the white tape around it?
Awesome, man.
I'm gonna smack the shit out of Roger one.
Yeah.
It's like a kendo stick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah. So they use that for practicing samurai swords in Japan.
right,
That's when you
right,
practice.
Right.
That's awesome, man.
Did you
So-
get to wrestle in Japan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of times. Probably like
'Cause
10
they're
different tours.
big into that. That's a huge culture.
Oh yeah,
over there.
we were huge. You were like
They-
straight rock stars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They wear the mask over there usually, though.
No,
don't they?
that's
No,
Mexico.
that's Mexico.
Oh, that's right. That is Mexican. That's close. Hey, listen, I was close. I was close.
I saw that. You sound like me on that one. Missing big. Yeah, but in Japan, before like some stuff has happened, man. Like when it hurt everything when they found out that they were fixing those sumo matches like a decade ago, 15 years ago. They found out that was a work, and that like turned them off to the whole business.
Oh, the sumo wrestling? Does it
Yeah,
work?
they found out that
I
was a
thought that
work.
was like dead serious. Really?
Yeah, of course everybody did, but then when you find out it's a
you
work,
know that,
their hearts
Frankie?
are
No,
broken.
that's funny you said because even MMA kind of went down in
Oh,
Japan.
they felt it too.
Yeah. Wow. That
Yeah,
makes sense,
it was
though.
because of that. It was because of the sumo wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, Pride was before UFC started, right? And it was
around the same time.
That was huge
Yeah, around
when
the same
Pride
time.
was over there.
Yeah, Pride I
they
think was
say that-
94. 94. I think UFC was 93. I think.
And then
Pride
they had a
was
couple
94.
others there too. There was a couple others
they
there,
had,
too, like the strong groups. You know what I mean? Where it's-
Pancrase.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Was that like the shoot fighting?
Pancrase the shoe fighting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Bass
Boss
rooting.
rooting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Well, they were like open palm strikes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they
And
were
it's
shin
like
guards.
make it look good, real good, and then when you see an opportunity to go home, or do you think it was all?
Some was
100%?
real, but some were works. Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, Muhammad Ali went over and fought.
Antonio Inoki.
Yeah. And that was like the first MMA
was
match, really, if you think
huge.
about it. Yeah.
Back in the
I didn't
day,
know
that
that.
was
Wow.
so mammoth.
It was a work. It was more a work than anything, but I mean, it was like, two styles going at it. It was
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, Inoki laid on his back most of the time. He doesn't want to get
right.
tagged with
Obviously.
one of Ali's
Yeah, you don't want
hands.
to stand up with that
But
guy.
he lumped up Ali's shins pretty
But
good on
kicking him,
both
right?
legs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No shit. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that. Isn't it like rumored that the Yakuza? Isn't that the
Yakuza?
Yakuza.
weren't they?
Dude, they
was it
run-
rumored
they run it
had
over
something
there.
to do with Pride. They were pretty heavily
Yeah,
involved.
well, yeah. I mean, Pride. I remember when Henzo went over to Pride, they like poisoned his water. He slept for like 30 hours straight.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that? Well,
They
that's
only
not
wanted-
unheard of. I would think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not
It's
over
like
there.
getting ordering a pizza at your room like
Yeah,
at 12
yeah.
o'clock at night when you're in the away team.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
Yeah, the Michael Jordan flu game, right?
Yeah. That was
that's right.
food poisoning. I
Right,
think.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Somebody knew it was
It was
Jordan
a pizza,
somehow,
yeah.
and there was
Yeah.
a
It was
pizza.
a pizza
and-
delivery at their hotel.
Wow.
See, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I saw
I
it
knew it
recently.
wasn't.
It's
I knew
like
it wasn't a flu guy. I heard it was food poisoning.
Yeah, there's a 30-30 on it.
There's an interview, and I'm pretty sure it's Nick Diaz talking about how he thought he got poisoned. I think
when he fought Gomi.
I don't
Is it
remember.
when he fought Gomi?
I don't
Maybe
remember.
because that was in Japan, I think.
I don't remember. I just remember him doing an interview. Like, they put some shit in my water, food, whatever. And yeah. Anyway, wow, crazy.
Well, I'm sure when you're that good of an athlete, like
Yeah.
know
Know
what's
your
in your
body.
body.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
something's not right. This
Right.
is not.
Yeah, you'd be able to tell. Yeah,
only
that's
person poisoning you is Renee.
Yeah, which I mean, hey,
Get that life insurance money.
if I switch, whenever,
I like the sound
whenever
of
she makes
that.
a cup of
Life
coffee, I
insurance
switch
money.
with you.
Matters what you got to do to get it.
Yeah.
Who? I mean, you are the craziest bastard. From AJ's told us a lot about you, but outside of you, and not in the ring, outside the ring, hanging out. Who's the craziest mother effer you've hung out with? That's a wrestler. I heard a
in the
story
ring.
about. I heard a story about you in New York or something. They had to drag you out of a restaurant. You were beating up cops and shit or something.
Oh yeah, dude. They brought the SWAT team in.
Yeah,
the SWAT. It was a straight SWAT team.
Throwing glasses at him.
Yeah, Ty had to come up with Ty and my daughter Kelly had to come up with $10,000 bail. They had to drive up to New York.
Had to go up to Yonkers. It was so bad in Yonkers. I'm like,
Oh, tell that story. What happened? You were there. Like it was another wrestler's birthday or something.
I was probably literally like at least 20 Long Island. That was my thing. I drink Long Island. But when I used to go out,
Those will get you.
I was 20
Those will get
Long
you.
Islands deep. And the owner, he was a young kid owner of the restaurant, and it was Lou Albano's 75th birthday.
Yes, that.
He ended up throwing a bottle at me. Hit me right here in the fucking the owner, or the supposed owner. You know what I mean? He was a young kid. It's because I think he was mobbed up too. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody told me, they were like, "Listen, leave that alone, hack." You know what I'm saying? I forget who told me, but they're like, "No, leave that alone." So yeah, so of course I did. You know, but and then I chased him. And then now this isn't me. This is from like 5 different people that I've talked to later. So we're out, and it's one of those bars. Like imagine if you're at a row house in New York or Philly, where it's the corner and it's a row house, but it's a bar.
Yeah.
So it's thin. You know what I'm saying? And it's long.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it happened out back. He threw the bottle at me. I went like this, looked at him, went to get him. So one of my buddies supposedly stopped me. He ran through the door. I turned around and started running up the sidewalk because there was windows there, so I could see him running through the thing into the fucking sidewalk. So, and then I go in the kitchen door. And now one of the wrestlers was in the kitchen. I would have said I never did this, but he goes, "No, Hack, this is what you did." So this is the only guy that solved this part of it. So he says, "Yeah, you went in the kitchen. You were because they have like trays of glasses and stuff. You were throwing shit around."
I read that.
And then he's like, "Fine." And then I opened up the door, and the dude was standing there with one of those oversized salt and pepper shakers, like to defend himself. You know, it's like an 18-inch.
It's just great.
And then right then,
cheese on you.
and then right then, the cops were there, like boom.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the little SWAT team. So and here, I'm going to tell you what
SWAT.
happened after that. You'll freaking love this. Swear to God, and I don't really believe in God. I believe in aliens, but the ambulance crew robbed me. So
Get out of here.
I'm bleeding. The medics put the SWAT teams got me down in the kitchen. And then the news is there, so they get a picture. So that was on the internet. Dreamer said the boys were popping for it huge. Me with blood, with this gauze on my head, with cops putting me in the ambulance. I get into the ambulance. They robbed me.
Get
They
out
tore
of
my
here.
pants off, took me to the psych ward, and kept the money that was in my pants.
Only in New York. Only
Yonkers,
in New
dude.
York, baby. Yep.
Of course.
Yeah, I
Damn.
couldn't believe it. I'm laying there, and I'm like, by here, I'm coherent again. You know what I mean? Because I'm kicking out. I've got guns pointed at me, so you get a little bit more sober as the minutes
Adrenaline's
pass
going,
there.
yeah.
Then I'm laying there, and the one guy was like, he's like, "All right, take his pants off." And I'm like, "Guys, seriously?" I wasn't like yelling or anything. I'm like, "Seriously?" And then he goes, "Take him to the psych ward." I'm like, "You motherfucker."
Oh shit.
Yeah, I could have just went to the regular emergency.
So wait,
They're like, no.
is
So,
a psych
so if
ward
I
just a
show up
wing?
without my pants on,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
looks
yeah,
like I
yeah.
belong in the psych. They stole my money.
yeah.
Nobody's gonna believe me.
Right, yeah.
We were
Makes
we were
perfect
just
sense.
talking about this. How there's no more mental institution. The psych ward is just a division of the hospital, just like a part of it. You're still going to the
Well,
hospital.
no,
The
this
psych
one
ward's-
happened to have 2 different entrances.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know how it is in other ones. I haven't been dropped off at a psych ward ever, except that time.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, right. Well, not any other times I remember.
You know what I'm saying, though. We were just talking about
Yeah.
this. There's no more mental institutions anymore, or they call them something different. We were talking a lot of people getting released into their own custody.
Yeah, but every
now.
drug that you see is pushing
Yeah.
somebody with a mental
I think they
problem.
just leave them on the
It's like
street.
a joke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's just treat it with drugs. You don't
That's
have to
it.
show up anywhere.
You get up in the morning and go to bed at night.
Right.
I got a drug for you.
You're good.
Wow, the pharmaceuticals are so bad.
Don't get me
They're
started.
so bad. Oh my God, I hate them.
Yep.
I hate them. And now with all the people taking the Get Skinny drug,
Oh,
but
those
but
things.
all the other side effects that you really don't even know how bad they're going to be now. But they're saying one of them I read something and I thought they were saying that it's changing a protein in your body. And you can't change proteins in your body, a basic protein, and it was doing something to your protein.
That's a peptide.
All right, I don't know.
Alters your proteins, right?
Well, the Ozempic is a peptide.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes total sense. When I actually got this one right. Now on our show, Sandman podcast,
there you go.
Yeah, got to plug it,
Check
baby.
them out, guys. Sandman podcast.
all the time. We got one of my 25-year-old Oliver. They're called hack checks.
Yeah.
So if I say something, and Ty will be like, Oliver, hack check that. It's totally wrong.
I got
They catch me a couple times an episode.
Roger always does that shit to me.
Absolutely.
Like
I know. I can
he
say
knows
it.
no information.
He's like me.
All right, he knows
How
no
many
information.
times he's
I give him
like,
any
I don't
information.
really remember, but a lot of mine's like a gray area too. You know what I mean? Well, that's why I said I wouldn't have remembered what happened at that with the last story I just told, unless other people had told me that were there.
Yeah, that's usually a Long Island night. That's what happens.
Well, dude, but then you'll pull some stats out of your ass, like so specific from like 1987, like on the button, and I'm like,
Well,
how
it's
did you
just
remember
one
that?
door. It's one of those doors you can access somehow, and you don't know really how. You haven't accessed it in 35 years, but all of a sudden it's like, there.
Boom, right there.
Yeah, but the recent stuff, the older stuff is the stuff that'll stick with me way more. Like I can't remember a lot of guys. MMA, I can't remember guys.
Well, that's what I tell everybody. I said my short-term memory is garbage. My shit 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I remember. Yeah. So I say in 15, 20 years, I'll remember. I'll remember.
Get back to me. Yeah, right.
He's not lying. This guy's pretty good at Jeopardy, but he can't remember what he did yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
That's me.
Yeah.
I love Jeopardy. I average about 12 to 14 answers a night.
Oh, this guy will challenge you. He's competitive at everything.
I'm about there. I'm about that. I'd say about that.
All right, don't do combat sports, kids. You see what's
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
I know, but seriously.
You know, you just mentioned prescription drugs. We don't have to go down that avenue. I think everybody in this room agrees it's bad for you overall. But Chris Bell, we had him on the. He directed
Bigger, Faster, Stronger.
Prescription Thugs.
Yeah.
His brother was a wrestler who actually who passed away. But he was a wrestler for what was, you remember his name? He passed away from
I don't know
drugs.
why he passed away, but it
was drugs.
The moral of the story,
the moral of the story is the reason he did the documentary Prescription Thugs was essentially to explain, how and during that, correct me if I'm wrong, Frankie, he was addicted to drugs.
He did. He got addicted to it as well. Yeah.
Well, just steroids, you can be addicted to seeing what it's doing to your body and the changes. That's an addiction right there. Totally. Just like if it was like an OxyContin or something like that. You know what I mean? But you see it with guys in my business. I got a new left knee and a new hip, but there's a significant difference from a guy that was on mad juice for 25 years than to a guy that wasn't on mad juice, meeting them and seeing their bodies.
Yeah.
Now, you do 25 years of juice, it's just killing you.
Yeah. Yeah,
but a lot of guys have that. And you see now there's a lot of guys that are so much smaller than they used to be. Like 30, 40 pounds smaller.
Yeah, I've seen some.
It's the same thing with bodybuilders. You look at bodybuilders now
when they're on, when they're off. Yeah.
Dorian
That's
Yates,
what I'm saying. I seen some guy that I know that his son wrestles, and he was a monster. Actually, he just got his pro card. He won like Mr. New Jersey, whatever. Got his pro card, and I guess after that he retired. It just beats you up. But like, dude, he looks like a totally different person. From going to
I don't even know now. It's like the growth. Can you even get real growth now, and like even count on the product if you wanted to buy it?
I don't know. I'm sure you can, right?
Well, they say the real growth. Here comes Frankie's jokes. Wait till I'm finished, buddy. The real growth that bodybuilders used to get back in the day. Again, I don't know now. Comes from AIDS patients because they get such a surplus of it. It's to treat their AIDS. They get such a surplus. They don't need it all, so they sell it to bodybuilders.
Dude,
here we go. Here we go.
Go ahead. Every bodybuilder got it from an AIDS patient. How many fucking AIDS patients are there?
But there's a money trail there, and the money trail makes sense to me.
That's where it started. Yeah,
maybe.
I like that.
Yeah, that's where it started.
No, I know. Like
Within
now,
the
there's like.
bodybuilding.
now there's these peptide companies and TRT companies. I'm sure. I wonder if
SARMs companies.
I wonder if they can get legit growth. But I'm hearing like legit growth isn't good for you because your body stops making it. You could take a peptide that makes your body produce the growth on its own, supposedly.
Yeah.
They're saying.
Is that the stuff AJ has?
Yeah, AJ's.
All right, now something starting to ring a bell with me there, Butchie.
He's got it all up there.
Well, what's the guy? Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's their peptide guy.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
He's I got some, but I haven't delved into it yet.
Yeah. A lot of people were swearing by the peptides. It's kind of a new thing, right? This peptides.
Well, it's legal.
You've been in the game for a minute.
It's not illegal. It's legal.
Legal.
You know what I mean?
Do you got to package it with anything? Like, are you doing peptides or something? Are you doing another steroid with it? Like,
I think some people
guys,
like Anadrol or something.
100% guys do, but there are some people who are
just
standalone.
peptides. Yeah, but some peptides aren't made for some are like a growth factor, but there's one that's like BPC 157. That's like a healing factor.
Correct.
And then there's ones. There's even there's even peptides that can make you fucking tanner and stuff.
Get the hell out of here!
Melatonin. It's called melatonin. Is the
that
name
the
of
one?
the peptide?
Is that the one, guys? I think you inject it. I believe.
Yeah.
Guys take it right before shows because it makes them tan. But you know what it does?
Yeah.
If you have a mole and it's just like a light mole or whatever, you have a few of them, it turns them jet black. Turns your moles. I know a kid that did
makes
it.
sense. That makes sense.
And
too,
and he
Yeah,
had a
just
few
put a little
moles
makeup on.
and his girlfriend, who's a friend of mine, took pictures and was like, dude, look at what his
All right,
moles
so
look like
wait a
before.
minute.
Look what his
There's
moles look like
stuff
after.
that you can. Now, are you skin popping it? Or are you intravenous in it? What
no,
are you
no. I
doing?
think
Rubbing
it's
it
the peptides. Most peptides. I mean, I don't know 100%, but I think most peptides
Subcutaneous?
is just like in your fat. Yeah.
Oh, like this? So you would take growth?
Yeah.
How long is it supposed to last?
I think you do like a 3-month cycle. People I've been told to go 3 months on, 3 months off, but then some people they just stay on it.
Yeah.
Well, of course. Yeah, right. Stay on it.
Well, the reason you want to go on and off is because it's a growth factor, and like if you have something that shouldn't grow, you probably should.
Well, everything is growing every organ in your body.
Right, exactly.
Well, no, actually, it's different than if you take synthetic growth. That's why they say people's forehead grows; they get the growth gut.
Yeah.
It's because your body doesn't know where to put it. But at least with the peptides, what I was told is your body's making it naturally, and it still produces its own growth, and it knows exactly where to put it because it's making it naturally.
Right.
At least that's what
Makes
I was told.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Just wow.
What's out there now is crazy.
I don't know. That tanning thing's even a joke to me.
Yeah.
No, that's for real. That's real. I know a kid
I
that
heard
did it.
about it makes you black, but does it give you a golden brown tan or the pills you used to take when I was a Chippendale dancer? Yes, I was a Chippendale dancer.
You're Chippendale. Oh, yeah. Oh.
You're just gonna skim over that.
And the one guy had the pills and then you looked like a carrot. You were all orange and stuff. So there's been all these levels of stuff.
Yeah.
So
forever,
now,
right?
can a girl that wants to have a great tan go to a spa in the morning on Friday at 10 o'clock and have a badass tan at the bar?
I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works.
I don't know how that works either. I've never heard of girls doing it, but I know guys in the bodybuilding world. I know guys do it pretty regular. They inject themselves.
But it's like, is it like right away, or do they have to do like a course?
No,
like a course of it.
I don't. I'd be lying
we
if
don't
I
know
answer
enough.
that correctly. But I know the one kid I know that actually did it right before a show, like within a couple days or something. Yeah.
Was he happy?
I mean, it made him tan, but it just made his moles. And then you get untanned when it wears off, but your moles stay.
Yeah, but do you really care if
crazy
your little
black.
moles like real black?
It's
or
pretty
like, or
disturbing.
like
It's actually
dark
pretty
brown?
disturbing looking.
It was disturbing
It's
looking?
pretty disturbing looking. It really is. Yeah.
Is it like you're buying paint at like Home Depot and you say like I want that shade? Like, is it like,
I don't know.
Well,
how
you
that
see
works.
them-
one shade fits all? Like,
But when they paint themselves anyway, the bodybuilders, bro,
Their
it's
faces are
crazy
normal
looking.
color.
It's crazy
and their
looking.
it almost looks like you photoshopped the head on a different body.
Yeah.
Because they don't do their face normally. You know, their fucking trainer wipes them or their girlfriend or whatever.
Nah, they're like,
but
I'm
they
not,
don't-
put,
they
I'm
don't
not
do
putting
their
this
face.
shit on my
Yeah,
face.
exactly. Exactly.
That's what they're
Well,
thinking.
you get hit with the blackface, man. They
Yeah,
ain't coming back from that.
your
Ain't no
career,
coming back from that.
career's over. Ted Danson, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
He did that, remember?
He did.
Yeah.
He did. So did Jimmy Kimmel.
So did Howard Stern.
Oh, it hurt him.
And Justin
It
Trudeau.
hurt
Yeah,
Kimmel.
yeah.
Yeah, didn't it hurt Kimmel at the time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, that was when
No,
he was
what?
on the Man Show.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was
That was when it was
Karl
okay.
Malone. Karl Malone.
That's when it was okay to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Silly.
Yeah, I used to love that show. You watched that show back in the day? Girls
wasn't
on
Rogan
Girls
on
on trampolines. I think he
had, like, a
was,
spot or
but it
something,
was
maybe like a fill-in
the
spot
other
or
guy, the Adam Carolla was the other guy,
No,
right?
the Man Show.
Yeah.
Adam Carolla was the co-host. It was girls
that
with
on
giant
radio?
boobs. Dude, Kimmel used to be like nothing like he is now. It was like he didn't care about offending people or.
Well, that was the thing with the blackface. He gave somebody shit for doing the blackface, and he was doing it beforehand. I forget who it was, but it was.
Oh
pretty
yeah,
recent.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. So, but
Howard Stern's another
Nothing
one.
wrong
that
with
did
flopping.
blackface.
Oh, dude, he's made so much
Now-
money off
yeah.
of XM. It's so
It's
so
insane.
ridiculous.
But he's completely changed.
A
as a human.
billion, totally. I haven't listened to him in a long time.
No, he's totally went the woke way now. He's,
oh really?
yeah.
You still pushing the squatty potty?
What is that?
He used to have a squatty potty thing. That
Oh
he
yeah, in
loved.
the studio, right?
Yeah, wherever.
Remember they used to have the girls come in and compete in queef contests and stuff. It was crazy. It was
Dude,
crazy.
He was nuts.
He was
back
nuts.
in the day.
He pushed the envelope.
He definitely did. But
Yeah, he started this whole podcast probably game. If you really think of it,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
He
It was
was like
his radio show was
like
a podcast.
long form
Podcast.
radio,
Yeah.
long form, interviews.
Yeah.
I
He
caned
started.
Elephant Boy. You guys remember Elephant Boy? He was one of those characters. Didn't he have the with whoever was the little person? I was in the ring with him. Elephant Boy, Missy Hyatt was on the
Was
show.
it Beetlejuice?
Oh, you're talking about Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Elephant Man, is that him?
A friend of ours did his
No,
security.
no, there's enough. Fred, the elephant guy. That was his name.
Oh, wait.
Way back in the day.
Wait, was he the guy that talked with the crazy stutter? It took him 10
No,
minutes to
that
say
was
his-
that's Stuttering John. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is Stuttering John. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
The guy that stutters, his name's Stuttering John. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but you didn't really give a good description of this elephant guy. What does he
true.
do? Does he look like a fucking elephant? How about a little bit more on that?
Google photos of Fred the Elephant Boy.
You can't
Howard
describe him. You
Stern.
can't remember him.
Well, no,
Didn't we just
I want
go
you to
over
show
this?
I want you to show a picture of the dude. It'll be way easier.
I took a guess and I was up, but you can't tell me nothing. All right, let's Google it.
All I got was Howard Stern.
There you go.
Siri, you blow.
So much for Elephant Boy.
Yeah, not that memorable, I guess.
Yeah, but I caned him.
You caned him. You caned him. Nice.
And I was happy to, because that was big publicity back then, for us. Like, that
Oh,
was
Howard,
over.
yeah.
He had a huge show.
Because I would say in the early 90s, he was on Howard all the time.
Yeah.
Always pushing wrestling.
Yeah, he had a massive show. I remember going to his, I don't know if it was I guess it was his XM, going to XM party in the city that he had. It was,
Like
and I
a
got
million
stuck in the
people
city and I
showed
slept
up or
in
something.
Penn Station. It was the worst
Yeah,
fucking idea I ever
everybody
made in my
showed
life.
up.
But, yeah,
He was so
Why
over
millions of
back
people
then.
showed up?
it was in the street, but it probably wouldn't have been millions, but it would have been thousands probably. But it was raining, it was downpouring, and it was like in the winter, and it was freezing cold, and we didn't prepare for it. We took the train up and just got absolutely soaked, and then the train stops running from New York back to Jersey, I think from like 2 to 5 in the morning or 2 to 6 in the morning or something like that. So we slept in Penn Station freezing cold. Wow. It was the worst decision I ever made. One of them, one of the many.
Where's your favorite place to wrestle?
No, the arena. Just 2300 arena.
Oh, in Philly?
Yeah.
Damn, hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the original
that was my
ECW
home.
arena that
Yeah,
they call it.
really? Is
I
it
cut
really?
my
Is
teeth.
that really?
Yeah.
Wow, there's been they have
cut my
grappling
teeth in
events
that
there. They've
building.
MMA fights there all the time.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
I saw my buddy. He's actually fighting on the June 1st card. Was fighting there. I saw him, Basil Hafez. I don't know if you know him. He
He's a
fights
new
at.
guy there.
He's been training in Colorado with like Gaethje.
Oh, okay.
And all them. I don't know what school or whatever, but I saw some events with him there. I've seen some MMA stuff
Nice.
at the
Yeah, yeah.
2300. Have you been there?
Yeah. I've one of my buddies grappled in a grappling event there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While back,
So that's
but-
the original like ECW arena. Like,
Really?
Yeah,
where
so
it
you
all
get the
started.
enormity of. There's fans that fly to Philadelphia just to go to that
Get out of
building.
here.
Oh wow.
And before I was, in the beginning when I was a wrestler, there was a building in Texas, the Sportatorium, that I would have paid my own way to go there and just say that I worked in that building. But then nobody used it anymore. Now it's torn down.
Man.
There's a couple, Corrigan Hall in Japan. That's another one that's super famous. that if you make Corrigan Hall, then you've done something in Japan.
Obviously, huge Japan, Mexico, United States. Ever been to any like oddball countries where you wouldn't think?
Over, like Africa.
Really?
I mean, there's so many places I've been. It's like you could go do a tour for Vince and hit 8 countries in 11 days.
Oh shit! Wow.
You're on a plane almost every night.
Yeah.
You go to the show, but they're all private planes, so it's just you guys on the plane. You don't got to go through customs or anything like that. You know, but you can be on a plane like every night. Damn. And then Africa, you could do the same. In South Africa,
is
South
wrestling
Africa,
big
you're
over
going to
there?
do more South Africa. You're going to do more there than you have to understand the politics that goes on in those regions. You guys are smart enough that there could be a rogue government taking over some of them countries any second of any day. So he's not going to push himself. But South Africa was always safe for him.
Yeah, right.
When you were talking about the drugs and everything in the wrestling, I mean, he just said like traveling 8 countries, 11 days, like. Dude, he has to take those pills he don't know when to sleep. The time different when you're traveling, everything like that. Like a lot of guys get addicted to that shit because they just take them to sleep. You don't
Ambien, Xanax?
No, well, you don't want the Xanax. Yeah, if you know you can lay your neck down for like 6 hours or so, 7 hours. But the somas were the best. If I had it down, how many exact somas? They'd be round and they were easy to break. I break them in 4. If my flight was 4 hours, I would take 6, and I'd be fresh as a daisy when I got there. As soon as I sat in my seat, I would take my pills and then eat some carbs to get the pills to kick in.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like right as you take it off, you're out, and then you feel great once you hit the ground.
Awesome. Wow.
That's why professional wrestlers with the drugs and the pills and stuff like that, constant travel, constant time change, shit like that.
Plus, they're banged up too all the time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but I didn't even have it bad. Back in the 80s, you were working maybe 8 times a week.
That's crazy.
8 times a week, driving 300 miles. If you went, they would start at the top, like New Hampshire or something like that, then work their way down the coast. You hit Boston, you know what I mean? You hit New York, you hit Philly, you hit Baltimore, then maybe you hit the base in Virginia. You know, so you're traveling for every night. You're driving to the next city, to the next city.
You're driving yourself, probably in a car with other wrestlers.
With a couple of your boys.
You
know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, if you were in L.A., you would start in maybe Portland and work your way down through like Sacramento, San Francisco, L.A., San Diego, and then maybe jump into Mexico for a Monday Night Raw or something like that. That's what they would do there.
That's wow. Now, who organizes all that? Who facilitates all the travel? It's like you have to do it yourself.
We talked to Ann. I think her name was. That's all I talked to Ann about the travel department. Who knows how big it was? There would literally be, and you're going to say this is absolutely ridiculous. 100 guys they would fly in for a pay-per-view, and use 30 of them.
Oh wow!
But they would fly in 100. WCW one time I counted more than 100 guys. It's
just in case they want to use them?
Yep.
Wow.
Because
and they're paying them to be there.
Yeah, I've been on a pay-per-view and been at the second match. Then I got moved. Then I got moved to like the third or something. Then next thing you know, when you go in, you're going to see a board, and you got to be there by 12 or 1 o'clock, depending on what coast you're on. And they usually have a board up what's going on for the night.
Gotcha.
And then you could be somewhere. You could be first, and then the next thing you know, you could be third, and then the next thing you know, you're not even on the show.
Wow.
That's happened to me.
Changes like that.
Yeah. Because the ratings get... Well, and it has to be Vince. Yeah. I mean, it had to be Vince. How come Vince left and all of a sudden the business is getting great?
Yeah.
Because I don't have a lot of contact with him, but apparently he's just like, yeah, love it. You know what I'm saying? And then he'll push this to the moon and nobody will agree.
They say a lot of people are giving Triple H a lot of credit, right? Saying he
Triple H and Paul Heyman should be doing most of the calling for the booking wise easily. Yeah,
he's married. He's married.
WrestleMania, I loved.
He's married to McMahon's daughter, right? In real life,
definitely.
Yeah.
Talk about how much has changed. Like you said, you started early '90s, right?
Yeah,
guys today, right? Like your son, if he wanted to become a wrestler and he had a little talent or got an in or had somebody open it,
well, yeah,
they
if you
immediately
had
send
an
him to
in.
Florida to like a
Well,
training
that's what I
facility.
did, and then but he
You-
ended up being hurt.
Right, but you didn't have that opportunity. There was no training facility back
Well,
when you
in
started.
Philadelphia, the first one, the guy that started ECW originally was Tri-State Wrestling Alliance.
There was a training facility.
He started a school. I was his first student
okay, so
to
there was.
graduate and make something of myself.
Oh wow! See, I didn't know that existed back then.
But if it didn't, I would have been.
Yeah.
My whole career has been.
I thought guys
been a
fucked
crazy
around in their
timing
backyard
kind
on
of
a
thing.
homemade fucking.
It just has being in
you
the
know.
right place at the right time.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah,
life
so
is
I
that's
got
about.
so lucky being in Philly.
Yeah, but
showing up at an independent show, my very first one, watching that. Because in the air, do you want to know about the difference about the wrestling? Wrestlers were 3 times bigger in the 90s than they are now.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys are so much smaller.
Well, we had-
Everybody was a monster back
We
then.
had-
that was the bit. That was the thing.
We
Yeah.
had Enzo Amore on the show, right? Who is cut out to be a wrestler. I mean, he's a perfect for it, but not a big dude at all. He's not a big dude at all.
I was just with him.
Yeah, he's great. He's fucking made
week,
for that life, but he's just not a big dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great talker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Great
he's
on
great
the
on the
mic.
mic.
Great on the mic. Yeah.
Like, and that's all you need.
But in comparison, like you were saying, to the days of old, guys were monsters back
they were
then.
just
You know,
big. Everybody was just big. You were like a 300-pounder.
Macho
Yeah.
Man.
So I was going to the show. I was going to the
Hogan.
shows every single month.
Yeah,
Every single month I was going, and they were all big.
yeah, it's
And
crazy.
now you could literally have a heavyweight championship and weigh like 212 pounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just wasn't the way. That wasn't happening back in the day.
Yeah, it was all about the bigger,
Frankie,
bigger, the better.
drawing a blank. He was a Olympic wrestler, bald head.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle. They say that nobody wanted to like go up against Kurt Angle. Wasn't he? Didn't he have a reputation of being ridiculously like just rough on his opponents?
Well, he smacked around Brock Lesnar on an airplane once.
Is that right? Ooh, you know that story?
I wasn't on it, but I know it happened.
Get out of here.
That's the story. Yeah.
Well, they say like in the ring, he was like notorious
Dude,
for
he
just
was
fucking
Olympic
destroying.
gold
Well, no, they said
medalist.
I heard it's good. All you guys. I listen. Talking with you, listening to Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, and Kurt Angle on podcasts, and like you guys are all like very complimentary towards each other. You know, it's like a very respectful
You're a
craft.
team out
And
there.
I heard like what they were saying about Curtis. Like they had to tell him because he came from an amateur wrestling
Correct,
background, so
yeah.
he always wanted us to go hard. Everyone,
Right,
go
right,
chill
right,
out.
right,
You can't.
Chill.
It's hard to turn that off.
Right? Yeah. Right. It's hard to turn that off.
And not many people can do it.
Right.
Not many people at all.
Yeah.
Rhonda did it.
Yeah.
You know, but Rhonda and Kurt, is there any ones I'm missing that? Or there's some
there's
other
a couple,
lower
like-
guys.
Yeah, there's like Shamrock.
Oh,
But
Brock
it's hard
is
to
another
make the
guy that
transition
has a background
Of real and fake.
in real
Yeah,
wrestling,
right,
right? That crossed over, that was actually good at it. I don't know that he
Right.
has that reputation. Brock Lesnar was a great wrestler.
I don't think he was there at first, but
No.
the more and more he worked,
Yeah.
he gradually got.
But he's
better at
not
it.
doing anything crazy. He's not doing tackle, drop down, hip toss, arm
Right.
drag,
Yeah,
body
yeah,
slam.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Drop
yeah.
kick. You work matches around what he does best. Big moves.
Gotcha.
Big moves. Take a powder. Set
Right.
up a table. Another big move. You know?
I suppose
Nobody's
you
in
gotta-
a hurry to do anything. It's well paced.
Wasn't there some bad blood with him and Undertaker? Remember that UFC fight where
I think it was. That was
Doc-
Oh,
Yeah,
what,
I
the
mean,
match
probably,
that was
probably.
horrible?
Well, no, Brock Lesnar
that-
fought and lost to. I think he lost to somebody in that match.
was that?
In the UFC?
Yeah,
Or-
he lost. It was.
Oh,
he
it was
lost to
he
Overeem.
lost in the
Overeem.
leg lock.
Overeem, yeah, with the
No,
bod- with the-
that
was his first
That was
match,
his
right?
first one. Yeah,
Frank
this
Mir,
was this
yeah.
one,
Mir, yeah.
Overeem knocked him out, I think, and Undertaker was in the crowd, and they were walking
Body
out,
shot.
and Undertaker was like, "Go ahead, do it. Let's do it."
Well, he's
Let's
in the
do
middle
it,"
of
or
an
something,
interview.
right?
He's in the middle of an interview, and Brock walks by and kind of mean mugging him, and he mean mugs him back, and is like,
Something you wanna
"What are you
do?
going to do about it? What are you going to do?" Or something like that. And the reporter's like, "And listen, this is what they're skilled in. It totally could have been capitalizing off the opportunity, but it was very off the cuff because he was in the middle of an interview." So again, could
Yeah,
have
but
been-
was it set up when
Yeah,
Will Smith
could-
went and smacked
Yeah,
Prince's
right,
name?
yeah,
Well,
right.
do we ever even really know if
Yeah.
that was a work or a shoot yet?
it was had to be a work.
Did you see? Wait,
The
did you
way
see?
the slap
Had
went,
to
it
be.
looked totally like a work slap.
Did you
to
see?
me.
There's a TV show. I think I don't know, years ago, that literally was of the guy in a crowd, like at an award show. the presenter saying stuff, and he says, "Watch your mouth." Like literally, it was pretty much word for word is what Will Smith did. And this is a
So they bid it off of that?
it was like a movie or a TV show from back in the day.
Well, Lawler.
Hey, look at him with his little conspiracy.
Yeah, right.
theory.
Didn't Lawler do that on a talk show host? Lawler, the wrestler.
With Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, right? He slapped the shit out. Obviously, that was a work, but people bought it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I mean?
he wrestled a little bit. Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
He actually really wrestled, didn't he?
I think he had like 1 or 2 matches, right? They were
They were doing
no.
so.
Yeah.
I'm
Did he?
sure it was way more than that because they were that angle was so hot. They were using mudds with him, not.
But
Like
that didn't look like a fake slap at all. That looked like that hurt.
Oh,
Yeah,
forget what
Andy
show he
didn't
was
mind
on.
apparently.
Yeah, no.
Nah.
I've
he was
worked
all
Lawler
about it.
like 10 times.
Oh wow, Edge. Actually, I did a wrestling thing last year.
Did you?
Remember me and
Oh yeah, Frazier.
me
Yeah.
and Frazier
How bad
actually
were
was
you?
what I wasn't great. I did okay. I clotheslined something, like knocked someone
Can you
out.
throw like a work punch?
yeah.
All right, did you stomp your foot?
Yeah, boom. Yeah, it was good. The guys are great.
Send me
The guys
the
are great.
video.
I gotta find it. I'll send
Didn't
it.
Frazier come in with a baseball bat? or
Yeah,
something?
Frazier had a
Yeah.
baseball bat. Yeah.
Oh
It was
yeah,
cool.
because he needed a baseball bat
Yeah.
to stop you. And you were the book in this, right?
No, he did. He did a match with Lawler. I did a match with Jeez, I don't know who it was. I think he was a local guy. Jeez, I can't remember his name. But he's a local guy. They're kind of doing his retirement
Okay.
match.
Yeah, just working a little angle.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was a good time. It was fun.
Yeah, so you like being in the ring?
I had fun. Yeah, I had fun.
Like, all right, so tell me, how juiced were you? Like, what kind of? I know I can't even compare it to you going in there for an MMA fight, but were you scared?
I was nervous. Well, because we
It's
didn't
different.
rehearse. We had no rehersal.
Did you just talked?
We
right?
just talked. Yeah.
Rehearsal.
I
Rehearsal.
know. But we just talked, and it was like, all right, we can do this with this. I'm like, all right, yeah. I just played along, you know.
All right, that's fine.
But it worked out.
But thinking about that now, if you think about rehearsal in wrestling, nobody's really rehearsing anything, but you got to give everybody credit for having to remember 100 things in a row.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 Mexican wrestlers, 150, 175. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to, like, some guys that you work with more, you could set up one thing, say, when you, like, go to the top rope. Now, that can mean the next 5 minutes of wrestling, you know what I mean? Once you know a guy.
Right.
But other times, you're in there and you're remembering this.
That's tough.
And you're not, and maybe that guy just got off a plane and he's tired as shit.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the thing. I think, like, I when people fight and when they, wrestle or whatever, they get tired. They start making mistakes. I wonder if that's probably going to go the same way with you guys.
So
you know?
it's jet lag. That's why you got to sleep when you got to sleep.
Yeah.
Your people's lives in your hand are in your hands every single solitary time you're in the ring.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's no joke.
Going to the top rope and stuff like. All right, clothesline. Nobody's killing anybody with a clothesline. Was it Collie that killed a guy with a power bomb?
Something like that. Yeah. Like
There's been guys that have been killed in the ring because
a lot of
they were
weight.
trying to teach this big Indian guy how to powerbomb somebody, and they kept having him do it to the same guy for an unknown reason. And
He just dumped him on his head, like his head, broke his neck, whatever, killed him. Fucking.
because he didn't realize that when you're doing that powerbomb, you have to bend your body down some. You can't be a 7'4" monster and
From
go
the
like
top,
that.
yeah.
You got to push him out away from you and then bring him down and then pull his hips down. Once his head reaches past there, you pull his hips.
So his
down
hips
for
fall
him to
first.
help him.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Little things.
Yeah. Oh, that matters though.
Yeah, it does.
You
Help
say
him over
you-
with his mom.
You say you don't rehearse, which, because you especially when you get on your level, I'm sure everybody's a professional. You kind of just work it out what your next move is, but it's decided prior who's winning that match, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a decided by whoever the powers that be that let's end this early,
Yeah, and who
or do
even
they
knows?
or do they say
Well,
make
dude,
this
you
a
could
fucking?
You could go out there and here's another one for you. Well, you're the third match. Well, then you're bumped up to second. Then you're bumped up to first. And instead of doing 15 minutes, we want you to do 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know,
Wow. So it throws
sometimes
your
you're out there to do 12, and they tell you to go home.
Oh wow. So it's
You know,
improv
and
too.
then you go right to your finish. They want you home. When that guy tells you home,
Yeah.
There's a reason. That's coming from the guy that's running every picture that
How about
flashes on the
how about the
TV.
victor? Do they ever change that last minute? Be like, no, you know what? I want you to win instead of losing. No, that's always that's predetermined. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but you and like you said, working with guys, you said you become like familiar. Like Sabu's another guy. Like you would go out there and say, "Okay, this is the ending spot."
We would
and not
literally
talk about
we
anything
knew
else.
each other so well that and the ending spot was probably at least 5 minutes long of how we were going to do this and do this. So like him, Cactus Jack, I could go out in the ring with an idea. I know what he's doing by reading his body.
Yeah.
I know he's going to have to get the table here. I don't have to. He doesn't have to tell me in the back that he was going to do that.
Right.
And it's actually a lot easier because when you get that synchronicity with somebody, you don't really have to remember everything. You're working off the feel and you're working off the crowd reaction to what you're doing. Right. You're listening just as much. And a lot of guys today, they're not listening to the crowd. Mm. They're doing 1,000 spots to nowhere. Yep. To get like one pop at the end of it. Yep. You know, so you have to listen to the crowd just as much as that. And you don't have to remember anything. And it's just like a nice like kumbaya match, 20 minutes. And it's like, and it was so easy.
It's tough, man. You could like wrestling. You combining like athletics with acting. You know what I'm saying? It's like taking two.
You're your own director, producer. Yeah. you're everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that's wild.
And there are guys that don't look at, and the UFC too, guys that don't look athletic at all. That are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mick Foley being one of them.
Yeah.
Big Country being another one in UFC, you know, he does. You would never, you would.
Was that Roy Nelson?
Roy Nelson,
yeah.
You'd be like, I'd be like, I'll fight that dude.
I know him. Yeah.
He's great, man, and he's a great. Did he ever make a run at the title ever? He was close a couple times.
Close, he got close.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever fought.
Hey, do any other guys in your business like wrestling? Did you ever like talk about wrestling ever?
Like about doing wrestling?
Well, not so much doing it, even it being like in the news, like Raw. Would you talk about what happened on Raw?
I think our sports are very intertwined for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Especially in Japan. Japan, it's like really a lot of MMA guys would cross over and do wrestling, you know, and vice versa. Yeah, but it's you know, especially with Brock Lesnar, CM Punk came and fought in UFC. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely
he got his ass kicked.
Yeah, he got his ass kicked. Yeah. hey, you know what?
Listen, he's still involved in MMA. He was announcing down in AC. So.
Dude, I gotta hand it to him for getting into the ring.
Yeah, you know,
I don't have that in me, and I probably never had it in me.
He gave a real effort.
He
gave a real effort. You know,
he gave it a real effort. His first
and
outing,
then came back.
He had a lot of hype, and actually did it again. And I mean, that even
wasn't
takes
he
more.
better?
No, not really.
Nah.
He got humiliated his first one, but didn't give up. So you got to give that guy credit for at least trying.
But it was just 2, right?
Just
two, yeah.
And then it was 5 years till he ran out of money and had to crawl back to Vince.
Yeah.
No,
But
He came to AEW first, and then
he's still involved in MMA.
I love
though.
Punk. I've known Punk since the very beginning of his career.
You got to give a guy credit. He tried something that was not his sport. He made a go at it at the highest level. He didn't start out, you know.
Yeah, but look what Brock did with that. Brock's like, all right, Vince, you're not gonna pay for my private plane.
Right.
I quit. I'm going to MMA.
Yeah.
All right, it took me a little bit, but now that I'm champ, you're giving me anything
But
and
Brock
everything that I want.
also had that
Anything
real
and everything.
wrestling pedigree background. So you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he was credible. He was as credible as it gets. Yeah, so he could call who even knows how much he was making for pay-per-views. Like main events, he had to be making like $5 million, I would think.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I would just.
I'm sure.
How about The Rock? To get The Rock to come back, he's got to be paying him. Is The Rock? Actually, I heard this. He has a piece of WWE.
I don't know about a piece.
well, he's the head of TKO.
Oh, the head of TKO.
And if they were
TKO.
smart,
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like, dude, be the head. There's a transition period. We need somebody credible. We need you that maybe we'll give you 8% or something like that to be this.
Yeah, right,
You
right,
know,
right, yeah.
and then we'll change up the main event that we put you in because the fans cried so much that Cody Rhodes had to be in it.
Yeah.
Do you guys even know that?
Yeah.
They changed the whole main event.
Yeah.
That dude is
Yeah.
a busy dude, man. The Rock. He's a busy dude.
No, I couldn't live like that. No.
That's-
Or Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
That guy's like all over doing something everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Show
I wouldn't
there,
think
then
you'd
he's
have
in
much of
Monday
a
Night
personal
Raw,
life,
and then-
Yeah, some people just like that. They want to be in the
Yep.
now, I guess, you know? I mean,
Him and Bill Belichick though are going to do the NFL draft Thursday.
oh yeah,
which
Belichick.
Belichick's
Oh,
gonna be
Belichick,
great.
really?
McAfee and Belichick.
Belichick
Oh,
has a
dude.
board of
Oh, no
every
shit.
single
And
player.
Belichick's done coaching right now, right?
Well, right now he doesn't have a
right
job.
now,
yeah.
But-
And everybody thought that he was going to get the one job, and they thought that they turned him down, but Belichick turned the Atlanta.
Oh,
He
Atlanta.
turned them
Oh,
down.
wow.
Oh, no shit.
At first I just assumed that they turned him down because they would have had to change. You know how many people he's going to want to bring in on his
Yeah.
own.
Oh,
You
yeah.
bring in Bill Belichick, there's probably 15 other
yeah,
jobs
coming
coming
with it,
out
yeah,
the door
yeah,
right
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Yep. You guys are both in unique sports which don't offer any sort of retirement plans. You guys are constantly like, kind of reinventing yourself. Kind of my lead into this is you got a podcast now. Let's talk about that a little bit. You're early in your podcasting career, but the name of it is just the Sandman podcast.
Correct.
The Sandman podcast. You're on.
Where can you
Yeah,
find
Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you get your
Awesome.
podcasts, YouTube, stuff
Will
like
you
that.
guys be bringing on a lot of guys that
Well,
are wrestlers?
First, what I want to do is I want to build my own brand.
Sure.
Before I bring in a friend, I could bring in some Bubba, some guys that are way bigger, but I don't want to do that right now. I want to get bigger on my own.
Sure.
Before I ask anybody for anything.
Frankie's
and
been
I want
trying
to build
that
it
for
up
years
from
to
the,
get bigger
from
on
the
his
ground
own.
up.
It ain't working.
Make it it's a straight family affair.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
great.
Nobody else has that.
Both your sons are involved?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
that's
another one who's 15 years old.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't give a damn about wrestling. Well, because my career was over
Yeah,
by
right,
the time he
yeah.
was born.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so we're just in the audio phases right now. Like we said, we're getting a little studio built and stuff like that, so then we can change over to video. And then I'm sure we'll, maybe bring on some other guys later on.
We're
afterwards.
crawling now. You know what I mean? Talk
We
to
can-
me
Hey, you
when
got to
we're
crawl
walking.
before you can run. right?
Absolutely.
That's it.
And everybody learns at the same time.
Yeah.
We're planning on right now a road trip that we're going to video to Cleveland for SummerSlam.
Oh, right
Is
on.
that what the
Yeah.
one's?
Yeah, SummerSlam. Pretty sure it's
For
in August. to
SummerSlam, so
Cleveland.
that's our first road trip in the working because I figure by then I'll be at a different level. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
And what you do, you go out there, you get some guys on the mic, get to interview some of the guys competing too. you
Well,
know?
I can have people traveling with me there, like Francine. I can pick her up in New Jersey. She could be in the van. Me and her are great together.
That's
We
good
travel
for
all
like
the time.
YouTube shorts. That's what I mean.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, hit.
100%.
Get
So
those viral moments.
how is it that you guys got this podcast started? You said it's been like 2019, 2020.
2019,
so-
yeah, 2020.
I stalked Frankie so long because I was a fan of him as a fighter. They had no choice to kind of be friendly
Nice.
and nice to me, and here we are.
Hey.
We gotta-
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
I
Pretty
like
much
your
true.
fortitude.
Kind of creepy, but all right.
Yeah.
Hey, you got fortitude.
Yeah, we know each other
Just
for
stared
years.
through his
We know
back
each other
window
for
until
years.
finally one day he let me in.
Yeah.
How far did you grow up from here?
I grew up in Maine, so I grew up where
okay.
the men are men and the sheep are scared.
So
up
when
there.
did you come to Jersey?
When I was 22.
What year?
98.
And where are you originally from?
I'm from North Jersey.
Tom's River, but really Jackson, or whatever it is.
But yeah, TR all day. That's it.
Nice.
So Frankie, obviously, moving to Tom's River, I knew a few people that knew him. We had a couple mutual friends, and I definitely was a UFC fan. I'm not like a traditional sports fan, but I was diehard UFC since UFC 1, since Tank Abbott days. You know what I mean? But so kind of wanted to meet him. I'd met him a few times just in passing, with some friends or whatever. But then he started. Now he's going fully in. He's opening his own MMA school. But back then he would do some, I don't know, like 1-2 days a week, right?
Yeah.
He would train some people at the barn. I was like, I'm in. I didn't know shit about fighting. I didn't know shit, but I showed up every week and trained. And then we kind of, through that, we became friends,
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
yep.
That's
And
cool.
then I just been a fan of podcasts for a while, and I was like, let's do a pod. Like, he has the Jersey Shore following. I figure with my following,
Sure.
combine forces,
Yeah,
and we got 20 listeners. No.
Nice.
We're the
I think we're like 14.
Yeah. I've met 16 out of the 17.
So when you started, was it like just MMA, just UFC, just bullshitting?
We from the beginning. I think we kind of covered everything.
We're
talked
more
about it.
freelance.
Did you ever
Yeah,
talk?
we're-
Did you ever have just a talk, like a 20-minute talk about a specific fight?
Yeah. I mean, yes, we have.
We've
yeah,
done that,
yeah,
yep.
we've done that.
We've done some what we call mobile podcasts from we'll go for like UFC
That's
300.
the next step.
We
You know what
went
I'm saying?
to
Get
a
on video.
buddy's bar
Get
/
mobile.
Yeah,
restaurant.
we've done that a couple times,
and
That's
we've
good.
done that, and those are great. Those are a lot of fun. Crowd comes out, it was always
Dude, how much is that setup? Does it take to set up a mobile?
it's our guy right
Yeah.
there.
Well,
I mean,
if he
but-
took as long as he did tonight to set up that one tripod,
yeah.
he was there all
We
day.
actually have our oh shit. We actually have our original
our
podcast set up that we updated our mics and our mixer and all that. So we kept our original for mobile podcast. It was all packed and shit.
Yeah,
That's
the
why it took him a
suitcase,
minute, because some of it was still in that box from the mobile podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, if you want to hire us to come to your bar, restaurant, whatever, fucking speakeasy, whatever you got, we'll show up and do it.
Speakeasy. I love that.
Yeah, password.
Yeah, where am I going to be? I'm going to be in Atlantic City. I had zero social media until the last 3 months.
It's a blessing and a curse.
So now I'm still training my head that, hack, make a video.
Yeah.
Do something. All right, plug where you're going to be around here. So Atlantic City, July 12th, 13th, 14th.
Yeah, it's like at Caesars, it's 90s wrestler con or
Okay, cool.
something.
He knows
like a
way
signing.
more than
Okay.
But yeah, we were thinking about possibly traveling the pod down there for that with a
Yeah.
lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'd
great
be cool.
area landing.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Shit like that. But it's a lot of stuff in the works. But you guys are doing good. Hopefully we'll get to your point in a little bit.
Yeah,
but-
you know what? We say we show up. I'm good at showing up. Every Tuesday we're here, no matter what.
We
Hey,
never
so
miss.
I want to come to June 1st.
My birthday.
Yeah, UFC.
UFC
Prudential
yeah,
Center.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Prudential
can we
Center.
come to that?
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah, we all get together. Something like that. Yeah, I was telling him because my buddy's actually fighting on it. I want to go. Basil Hafez.
You familiar, Frankie?
But he's fighting Mickey Gall.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's fighting Mickey Gall.
Why is Mickey Gall good?
Well,
He's a
Mickey
Jersey
Gall,
guy. He's a Jersey
he's a
guy.
friend of ours. We've had him on the show.
Oh,
but
yeah, I was going to say they're both like kind of Philly boys or whatever, but
we were talking about CM Punk before. I mean, Mickey
Right.
Gall's the guy that retired him, you know what I mean?
yeah, he's the one who
Oh,
beat
is
up
that-
CM Punk.
Ah, it's the world turns.
I actually met Mickey at the 2300 Arena
Yeah,
one MMA time I was there
He's
because
a
I
good
knew he was
dude.
like
He's a
an
really
idiot.
good
Great
dude.
guy.
Really good
Yeah.
dude.
I only talked to him for a couple minutes, but
So your boys, what's his name again?
Basil Hafez.
Basil Hafez.
He fought he stepped in on short notice recently. Then he was supposed to fight a
Do you
couple
know
months ago.
he trains in Philly,
No, so he's
Oh,
I
you say-
grew
you say
up
he's-
with him. He's like
Colorado?
yeah, he trains in Colorado. Where I don't know the name of the place. I
Elevation?
think it's
Elevation?
probably.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
said he's like
With
sparred with like
Gaethje and stuff.
Gaethje
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. I don't know the name
wow.
of it or whatever. But so he's on that card on the undercard. So that's why really.
And
trying
he's
to
like
get
he's
there.
on his way up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see
Those guys are always
how good is
dangerous
your
'cause they're
guy?
hungry.
And he says, is he older?
He's
Mickey
listen,
Gall
on the
is,
ground. On the ground, they don't get much better than Mickey. Stand up. I mean, he's still developing his craft. I'd say. I don't know. He's a
Yeah,
better
he's
one.
pretty
to speak
well
to.
rounded. He's pretty well rounded. He's improving. He's been training down in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen him fight. He's a really good wrestler,
Yeah.
like you said, working
Dangerous
on
on
the stand
the
up.
ground.
But
His
yeah.
jiu-jitsu
Check
is
it
really
off
good.
FanDuel? Yeah.
No, I didn't look at it.
What's
on
What's
FanDuel.
see what the odds
What's
are?
your
Maybe
boy?
we'll make a
What's
bet.
what's his fighting style? Is he more of a stand-up guy? More just all?
He's kind of more of a wrestler, working on the stand up to a little bit. I mean, he's not. I don't know if he's quite the wrestler that Mickey is at this point, but that's kind of more of like his background. I think.
Okay.
Decent on the stand up. So we'll see. It should be interesting.
Yeah, go on.
I'm excited to watch it.
Well, if he made it to the UFC, bro, he's good. Nobody,
Right.
right? People talk shit about
That's
UFC.
what I
but those
think,
are the
too.
best of the best.
Right,
Yeah.
you made it to
Right.
the WWE, even if you're the crap.
Yeah,
You're still there.
You're at the show.
What do they call
You're at the
them?
show.
That's they got a name.
Jobbers?
Jobbers. Is
Yeah,
that
but
it?
there's not really
heel.
There's
Is it
not-
heel?
No, a
no.
heel's a bad guy.
Okay.
A baby face is a good guy.
A jobber's a guy that just
jobber
gets
back
beat
in
up.
the yeah.
Okay.
But
This
there's
guy.
not really jobbers anymore.
Like the
Like,
the
in
Brooklyn
Brooklyn
Brawler.
Brawler.
He was
Yeah.
a jobber, right?
Back in the day on Saturday afternoons, WWWF.
Yeah.
There would just be stomp matches. You want to highlight this guy. You want to highlight this guy. You know, and then there's stomp matches.
Yep. Gotcha.
And there's plenty of jobbers.
Yeah.
But you say not so much anymore.
Huh?
Not so much
No,
anymore.
because I mean there is, but there isn't. Back in the day, the jobber would never get one punch. Like he might get one punch to the gut, and
You know a
and then-
jobber.
and then a big club or something.
Trying to cause trouble.
Now,
Trying to cause
now
trouble.
they'll give you more. They won't.
What are you
they
saying,
won't
Frankie?
beat you so
What are you
so
saying?
easily.
We're gonna lose listener 17 if you
Wait,
keep
what did
going.
he say?
We're gonna lose 17.
Oh god.
He's making it funny, but
Yeah.
I don't know. He said he knows a job, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Frankie's friends with him.
So yeah. So where? All right. Just you say you're new to social media. So what is your social media?
Say it again, Ty.
All right, so everything for him. It's the Sandman podcast on Instagram, at the Sandman Pod on Twitter, stuff like that. Check a follow. He's got great videos. I actually followed your guys' account with our podcast account.
Perfect,
So
perfect.
It's
We'll
right there on you, and we'll throw something else.
Yeah,
up
we'll do
there.
a collab post with you guys.
Andrew,
For
hook
sure.
that up. He'll. How do you normally do that, Andrew? You just DM them and they have to accept the collab, right? So
Yeah, something like that.
when this episode comes out, we'll do that.
Listen, I've been around the social media for a long time, and I'm still working on it myself. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
dude,
definitely a learning. I mean, it changes so much too. You know.
right. 100%.
Who knows with AI? Things are gonna be so much different soon.
Oh, dude, AI's scary.
Everything's scary, bro.
He
in this
loves.
world.
He's all over the AI kick. He's
Oh man. I don't know.
Yeah, but I read a great article in Discovery Magazine on the plane to Pittsburgh last week. Some of the main guys are saying that there's not going to be a sentient AI anytime soon. You just can't do it. Because the way they computate in their heads, there's no room for any. They know facts, data. That's
Well,
what a sentient being looks at the facts and says, "Hey, we're going to do something else with them." That ain't happening right now.
But what's scary is who's the AI. It's like the facts that they're feeding the AI. That's what's scary.
well, yeah,
'Cause
right.
who's feeding these facts? Like they said they couldn't. They said to make a
Google
they
AI?
wouldn't the Google AI could not make a white person.
Yeah. If you asked them who was.
They said make a Nazi.
Yeah.
It'd be a black Nazi.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. They redid it, but they.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. Well, that's what it comes down to, right? Well, who's feeding the
It's
information?
Yeah, so that's what's
influencing
scary.
it.
Yeah. So whoever controls the AI is what's going to be scary.
Right. And that's that's everything nowadays. People are just getting force-fed information, and everybody just believes it just because.
Because yeah.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid, kids. Don't
Well,
drink the
listen,
Kool-Aid.
don't believe anything you hear, and only half of what you see.
These guys
Right.
think like us.
Listen. We are on board 100%.
It's like, listen, step back for a
Living a
second and just
fake-ass
think
world.
about what you
Yeah.
what they're telling you.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. Oh,
who's
man.
benefiting from it?
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm
They-
saying?
they-
follow the money.
Follow
Follow
the
the money.
The problem is they don't just say it. You don't just hear it. They inundate you from every angle with it,
Yep.
and you're like, "Got to be true. It's got to be true." No, it's probably not true.
Right.
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
It's like your phones. When your phone's listening to you, like you could be having a conversation right here. We could be
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about,
Yep.
a unicorn. Next
It's
thing
gonna
you
come
know, I'm
up,
going to
yeah.
have 10 fucking offers to buy a unicorn on my phone. Fucking
I
next
was in
thing.
my car and I was listening to the guys on the radio, and something came across my time.
I got a picture. Elephant Man
Oh,
just showed up on my phone.
Oh, there you go.
All right, boys, can we call it a day?
Yeah,
Yes,
hey,
sir.
this was great, man. Thank you guys.
Lovely.
Sandman,
Have a
you got
blast.
to sign the board for us
Yeah,
up
yeah,
there,
yeah,
guys.
please
Just a
do.
reminder,
Oh, you gotta
don't
sign the
forget
board.
to
Yeah, we're gonna
absolutely follow
got
us
you your
on
cane
YouTube,
so you guys can
Rumble,
set that up
Instagram,
somewhere.
That's fucking
Podcast,
beautiful.
Yeah, we
Spotify,
got some
Google
dials for you.
Podcast, and most other podcast platforms.